everybody. My name is Jenny Brown. I'm excited to be here. I'm a proud Lake Orion resident for many reasons, partly because we are all awesome. I love our community and how we get behind each other, businesses cheer each other on, and also because we have incredible leadership. Our leadership is competent and passionate. I've been to a few Lake Orion meetings, and what I see is absolutely phenomenal. But the most important reason, I think, that I love Lake Orion, and part of the reason I was asked to be here today and introduce our great leader, which I'm humbled about, is I co-founded and am executive director of Dutton Farm, which is a nonprofit that celebrates, educates, and employs adults with disabilities. It's really pretty much the coolest job ever. No offense, Chris. You're definitely a close second. But I pretty much get to hang out with the most hilarious, kind-hearted, hardworking, pure people ever and just try to create jobs and equal opportunities. So through my work, Chris and I were kind of reconnected because we were both elected as part of the 40 Under 40. Al Brooks is 40 Under 40. And I invited my sister to an event. It was like a reunion or something like that. And we kind of reconnected. He didn't know who I was, which I'm still a little bit depressed about, but I'm getting over it. But he knew who my sister was with Down syndrome. So our families are old friends. I guess we're not necessarily old friends, which is kind of a bummer, but I knew who he was. And we reconnected through that. And it's really cool that having a leader of an entire township recognizes the value in the people that I serve. There's no convincing, there was no sitting down with him and going over the stats and why he needs to have cause or concern or get involved with what we're doing. He just got it. And he started showing up at just different things just to be able to get to know the people with special needs that we serve. Maybe in people that in the world's eyes doesn't really have a lot to offer back, which is not true, but Chris just got that. And he showed up and he was getting to know our farmers to the point where he even joined our board. And I introduced him as an old friend, and he introduced himself as somebody that didn't remember who I was. You can tell I'm still bitter about that, but I'm getting over it. But we have just connected in such a cool way, I think partly because we're both super ADD, but mostly because he really gets what we do and he's passionate about it. And hopefully he'll be able to tell you a little bit more about some ways that Lake Orion and Dutton Farm are partnering. But to me, that kind of heart and character and compassion is something that I can really get behind as a leader, that I think is absolutely somebody that is trustworthy and somebody worth following. So without further ado, I'm looking for him and I can't see him, but I introduce our Orion Township Supervisor, Mr. Chris Barnett. Oh, he's back here.
I'm back there. Thank you so much. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you so much, Jenny. And I am pleased to admit that we are friends, finally.
I'm over it then.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You know, normally in these presentations, you kind of save the good news toward the end, but I thought we would start out with something really remarkable. As you've heard a little bit from Jenny, and if you don't know about Dutton Farm, I would highly encourage you to go visit. It's one of the most remarkable places that you can actually spend time at. The only thing I don't like about it is it's in Rochester Hills. And so we started talking, when I started getting involved, saying what can we do to try to help adults with special needs in our community in Orion Township. And so I am pleased to announce today that we are partnering and we are going to be opening the first ever Lava Mountain Coffee Shop right here in Orion Township. And if you know the man on the screen behind me, his name is Ziad Kassab. He's a fierce entrepreneur. And not only is he a coffee lover and went to Columbia and started his own coffee company, but he also shares something in common with Jenny Brown and has a huge heart for those who need the most help. And so we are announcing that coming to Orion is a coffee experience like you've never had anyplace else. We will be serving Jenny Brown's farmers will actually be employed in this company and serving our residents. So please look forward to that, and I think that deserves an amazing round of applause. Is Z here today? I don't see Z. He was going to try to make it. So again, welcome. I want to thank you all for coming and taking time out of your day to hear the good news happening in our community. I certainly am standing in front of you, but I do not deserve the credit. The credit belongs to most of the people that are sitting out here, those who have invested in our community, and those who also serve our community and others around us. If I could just take a minute and ask the elected and appointed officials to please stand and be recognized. And maybe some house lights would be great so we could see them. Thank you for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Congressman Bishop's in town from Washington, D.C. Thank you for being here, Mike. But the most important person, yes, give him a round of applause. The most important person here today is my mom. And I got to give her a hug. Hi, Mom. Because I haven't seen her since Christmas. Sorry, Sydney, you're number 2. And she came back in town from Florida to be here for my presentation. It just so turns out that my brother heard that my mom was coming back and scheduled his stay to the city tonight as well. So you're welcome, Brian. So I'm going to tell, over the next little bit here, I'm going to tell our story, some of the things we've been up to and some of the things we're looking forward to in the coming year. How many of you, like me, get frustrated when you get those phone calls and you hear the automated message, Orion? Orion, anybody? I mean, I see Bill Holt here in front. Even our school system can't say Orion. But you know what, I started thinking, maybe we should embrace that. Maybe we should embrace that. So I had a little brainstorm, and take a look at this. There we are. Try that in Independence Township, Pat Kittle. I think based on that and our new 5 roundabouts, which we're going to talk about briefly, we're okay with being Orion. Baldwin Road. Baldwin Road is happening. We've been talking about it for many, many years. And the cool thing about Baldwin Road is if you drove down it 6 months ago, these are some of the things you would see. And Baldwin Road is a nearly $50 million project, an investment in our community. And what we have done is we've taken the opportunity while this project is happening, not only as a township to invest in the corridor, to basically reinvent ourselves, to create a new downtown, but what's happening is the local businesses are also jumping in. And if you live or work near that corridor, you have noticed changes happening. More to come. A project like this is a game changer, and many people are taking notice and wanting to invest in our company. And it actually causes a little bit of jealousy, and I think most of you know my brother, and he's here today, Brian, the mayor of Rochester Hills. And so, you know, when you see this type of investment happening in our community, it creates a little bit of a problem. So anybody here was maybe at the Community Outlook breakfast? We've actually found some secret footage that I kind of want to show here. So take a look at this.
Now, I wish I could say that everyone works together really well, but you know, just like in this world, there's always one country/township that, well, no one really likes. So on behalf of the City of Rochester Hills, thank you for another absolutely outstanding year. We're proud to be the preeminent place to live, to work, and to raise your family. And now, it's time for some fun.
Brilliant, Barnett. Okay. I love Orion.
Yes, I must be wishing on someone else's star. It seems like someone else keeps getting what I'm wishing for. Why can't I be as lucky as those other people are? Oh, I guess I must be wishing on someone else's star. Why can't I be as lucky as those other people are? Oh, I guess I must be wishing on someone else's star.
Yeah. It's okay to admit, Brian. It's okay. I appreciate Joe Johnson for cracking the code and digging into your internet history at City Hall. And it's okay. We're finding that there's a lot of people all over the world that want to be in Orion Township. For example, look at this real sign. This is not made up. Our assessor sent us this during her vacation in Turks and Caicos. And when they're in Turks and Caicos, look where they're trying to go. Lake Orion. Anybody seen that sign? I'm going to go check. Might be a work trip. Something else that's happened recently, we're on the map. We're getting noticed all over. University of Michigan College of Business recognized us this year as one of their 5-star communities. Last year we were 3. We're pleased to add the other 2 stars. But don't take my word for it. This is a community survey that our biannual community survey where we ask our residents all kinds of questions about quality of life issues and how they chose to live here. And the top 3 reasons were safety, parks and recreation, and schools. Let's talk for a minute about safety. And this is the data part of the presentation. We have regularly been noticed as one of the safest communities, not only in the county, but in the state of Michigan. The chart behind me represents our crime trends over the last several years, and it's absolutely going in the right direction. This year, we once again cracked the top 20. We were number 14 in the state of Michigan, and one of the highest for the populations over 30,000. As you can see, Rochester Hills is at the bottom of that list once again. But safety doesn't come without its challenges, and this is something you're going to hear us start talking about. This is the women's locker room, not a glamorous shot for a state of the township, at Township Hall, and this is our sheriff's substation. And we are out of space. That's actually a locker that is in a shower stall. So more to come on that, a little foreshadowing there for you. But let's continue. Let's move over to the other part of public safety, fire. Fire had an absolutely crazy busy year. As you can see, the calls for service continue to grow. Tons of outreach in the communities and also several changes at the top. We said goodbye to our Assistant Chief, Jeff Stout. Jeff is here today. Where's Jeff? Jeff, thank you for your service. We didn't send him far, and as soon as he retired from the fire department, he immediately grew a beard and moved down the hall, and now he's our Director of Public Services. And we also said goodbye to a great friend of many, Chief Bob Smith. Is Bob here today? Bob, thank you so much. Fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, we still see Bob on a very regular basis. Sometimes I think he wakes up and thinks he has to go to work, and we're still happy to see you, Bob, so please continue coming to work. But with that, we were able to announce recently, and again today, that we have recently hired Chief Robert Duke from the Sterling Heights Fire Department. Chief Duke, are you in the building? He's still kind of learning things. He officially starts on Monday, ironically, the same day that the road construction project starts on Baldwin, and the next slide, which I'm going to show you. But I think, should we make it official? Let's make it official. There we go. Welcome to Orion Township, Chief. So not only will he be dealing with the construction at Baldwin and how that will affect stations 3 and 4, but station 1, we are planning on our kickoff of our renovation starting Monday. On the screen are the current conditions of station 1, 38-year-old building that's tired and out of space. We currently don't have any facilities for females, and we have 2 female firefighters. So this is what you're going to see, the project starting Monday, our brand new Fire Station 1 in the exact same location in the village, 93 South Anderson. A beautiful updated building with architectural characteristics that match the feel of our great, vibrant downtown. Here's the current floor plan, and one of the things we're most excited about is we are adding public restrooms that will be accessible to our new trailhead, the Iron Bell Trail in downtown Lake Orion, as well as a public parking lot. And I do see Village Manager Joe Young here today. Joe, thank you for joining us, and thank you for working closely with our team on all the great projects we're working on. So Chief Duke, get ready to roll up your sleeves. The fun starts Monday. We also want to recognize at this time that we are Auger Klein Aller Architects, downtown Lake Orion, is our architect on the project. I see Scott Reynolds here in the front row, who has been a great help and actually is the brains behind this design. Speaking of fires, some of you may have noticed our small event. Did anybody notice this event on November 20th, on or about November 20th, as we write press releases? We had a little bit of a gas main explosion that caused 18,700 people to call 911 from as far as Detroit, Macomb, and all the way probably to Lansing. Luckily, no one was hurt, and Consumers Energy was wonderful in the aftermath of that experience, and has put in safeguards to prevent this from ever happening in our community again. I know Lauren, I think, was coming from Consumers. Lauren, are you here? Lauren, thank you so much. Consumers, in spite of the crazy situation, we have worked a great relationship with Consumers, and we thank you for your assistance in getting us through that situation. And so this caught the attention of our distinguished County Executive, L. Brooks Patterson. And if you're familiar, that happened to be the same night that they lighted up downtown Rochester. We're not competitive at all. So, and Brooks called last night and sent his regards. I think he's in warmer places today, but he said, Chris and Brian, you two have to stop the competition between brothers. Last night, Brian lit up downtown Rochester. Chris lit up North Oakland County. Brooks. Brian responded, LOL. Chris is an idiot. I can't believe he talks like that either, Mom. He didn't even get any sponsors to offset the costs. Hashtag rookie. Then I responded to both of them and said, look who's in the national news. By the way, my sister saw this in the news in Italy and can now promote our newly cleared Corridor Improvement Authority. Who's the idiot now? Hashtag creative economic development. We have a lot of fun. And we truly have brought attention to our Brown Road corridor. A few years ago, a couple people on our team started visioning about what we could do to turn our blighted side of Brown Road into something vibrant. And it's happening. I'm pleased to announce. We built Brown Road, we widened Brown Road ahead of schedule and $500,000 under budget. Not something you normally hear. Special thanks to OHM, our team from OHM who's here. I see most of them here. Were you guys required to be here? John, you have an amazing team. John Hiltz, the H and OHM. Not only has your team helped us do some creative and amazing things, but every turn we're saving money. So thank you for your help. We created an Orion Township Innovation Zone, a Corridor Improvement Authority. This is an amazing tool that allows us to capture the increase on investment and put it back into our corridor. Some of those dollars went to widening the road. Some are going to go to the streetscape. But as I mentioned, we are casting a great vision. We are not looking for just big box. We're looking for creative uses, diverse mixed uses. We're also looking for iconic green spaces. That's actually the word we use in the plan. There are copies of the plan out in the lobby if you're interested. And as I mentioned, it's working. Menards is well underway and close to opening. And all the different colors represent different developments that are underway or we're talking to. I want to give a special thanks to Gary and the team at Strategic Communication Solutions. I think I saw Gary. There's Gary over there. As well as our Corridor Improvement Authority Board, who is, if the board is here, would you please stand? Another volunteer committee. Thank you, Joanne Van Tassel and Donnie Steele and Dan the Coffee Man Dewey, who lives right there and personally watched that entire Consumers incident unfold. And then I also want to thank Tammy Gerling. We're not Auburn Hills and we're not Rochester Hills, and we don't have a huge economic development team. We don't have a team at all, frankly. We have Tammy, who's our planning and zoning director, and where's Tammy? Thank you, Tammy, for all the work you do. And we have me, and we both wear about 87 different hats, but we're getting the job done, and more to come on Brown Road. Hopefully next year we'll be able to show you lots of great pictures. So why are businesses wanting to locate in Orion Township? We have an amazing tax system, AKA cheap. We operate very efficiently. This is a chart that compares our millage rates to our surrounding communities, and I want to thank Munetrix for all the data they've provided us, and a great tool in Auburn Hills local business. And I think some of the Munetrix team is here, so thank you for your assistance. There they are. Thank you, guys. Check this out. I showed this chart last year, and I'm going to make it big. But this is two ways to look at how we compare and stack up with our neighbors on a per capita basis. All of our government expenditures, what you pay to run your government, what that costs. And in Orion Township, we are in the right spot here. We are in the winning spot. And if you can't see that very well, and I won't necessarily call out our neighbors like brothers and friends, but we are in the right spot, and businesses notice that. We even have the cheapest water rates. Check this out. This is amazing. And when a business is looking to locate, this is one of the things that you don't necessarily think about, but we've actually started promoting. We're about half the price of a lot of our neighbors in water costs, and it's the same source. It's better to do business in Orion Township. It's been a rough year for our neighbor to the south. I see, where's Tom Tangi? Is Tom here? He's not gonna raise his hand, certainly. Well, there he is. And Bob Kittle, who's also on the city council. We're here to help you. I just want you to know that. We repaved your side of Brown Road at no cost to Auburn Hills. I want to make sure that that's public. But it's been a rough year. If you pay attention to the news, Auburn Hills lost the palace. Even the dogs wanted out. Look at this. The dog shelter moved out of Auburn Hills. The good news for Mayor McDaniel is we've actually found him work here in Orion Township. I think we might have a clip of that. We're still looking for work for Tom, so stand by, Tom. No, we have a great relationship, and if you're offended by my jokes, I apologize, but if you can't have fun in this job, then don't do it. But we're winning businesses. We have recently welcomed Lightning Technologies. Is anyone from Lightning here today? Yes, there's the Lightning team. Oh, you're kind of hiding behind the post. This is an amazing new company that is changing the game as it relates to shipping. CEO Jeffrey Owen and President is here. Jeffrey, please stand and be recognized. They have two locations, one in North Orion or Oxford, Jack, as other people like to call it, and the newest location is right here in Orion Township. It's highly automated, and so much so that they are making waves that they caught the attention of Forbes, who was out just a couple weeks ago, who's going to do a special article on them in an upcoming episode of Forbes magazine. So please stay tuned for that. Thank you for your investment in our community. The Chamber of Commerce had another amazing year. And before we get to highlight who these people are and some of the great successes of the Chamber, really big announcement. Where's Kim at? Kim Urbanowski, our director. Kim, thank you for being here. And any Chamber board member here? Chamber board members, there's some, I think. Yes, I see you scattered around. Matt is our president, Matt Pfeiffer. The Chamber is moving in. The Chamber is moving into the community center, the Orion Center, in May or June, and we can't wait to have them. We think it's going to bring a new energy, a lot more people into our building that aren't currently using our building. On the screen behind me is the annual award winners for the Chamber, our annual awards, and one I want to highlight is my good friend Alan Getz. Alan Getz is in the bottom right corner. Alan Getz is a dreamer and thought it would be amazing to bring a live music venue to downtown Lake Orion. And a lot of people listened, but maybe didn't necessarily catch the vision. Last Saturday, I happened to be there, and I've been there many times, and it's an amazing venue. Raise your hand if you have never been to 20 Front Street. Never been. Looks like about half of you, so this is your homework. not only check out 20 Front Street, but all of the new downtown charm and appeal that's happening in our village. Last Saturday, this is a live music venue right downtown, right next to our new fire station project. And last Saturday, I happened to pop in for a concert, and there were people that had driven to see Brian White, who's on the screen, who came in from Nashville to play in this 99-seat venue from New Hampshire and Indiana. People drove 8.5 hours to come to our town. Brian White's a Grammy winner. He wrote this Shania Twain song that plays at every wedding from this moment, and he also sings in it. Listen in his own words what he thinks about this amazing venue in our town.
Sell a ticket. These places are amazing because it is about the music, but it's also about the people and the stories connected to the music, and you don't get to do that in those big venues. You get to do that here, so that's what I love about it.
And that's Alan Getz, who I was sitting with on Saturday. Check this place out. It's amazing. It's putting Orion and Lake Orion on the map. Let's look at some other businesses that have opened their doors this year.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space. With the air, like I don't care, baby, by the way. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Here come bad news talking this and that. Well, give me all you got and don't hold it back. Well, I should probably warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't waste your time. Here's why. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like a room without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you know what happiness is to you. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. Hey, go. Bring me down, can't none bring me down. Your love is too high, to bring me down, can't none bring me down. I said, bring me down.
Let's give those businesses a round of applause in our chamber. Amazing year. And there actually, there were some Rochester Hills and Auburn Hills businesses that are in that video because they actually see the benefit of being members of the Orion Chamber of Commerce. Check this news out. So back in 2009, I believe the year was, and Matt Gibb was our supervisor, and Matt is here today. Where's Matt? Matt, I don't think we could have envisioned this story breaking because back in 2008 and 9 is when General Motors was talking about shuttering our plant, the Orion Assembly Plant, and moving it to Indiana. You may have seen this news in the last 2 weeks, but GM, first of all, is building a car there with no steering wheels and no pedals. But they are investing $100 million into this plant for this technology. And John Blanchard, the government relations rep, said, this is the real deal. This is happening in our town, and it's amazing. Check out the inside of this car. So they're already building the Bolt, and so that's currently, you can drive that right now, and I've actually driven it. Actually, I'm going to show you a clip in a second here. Have you heard about what Tesla's doing? Tesla is actually, Elon Musk is actually trying to populate Mars. This is one of his lifelong dreams. Not only does he build cool cars, but he's trying to populate Mars. And so they had this launch. I'm going to show you this. It's pretty cool. So check this out.
Falcon Heavy is configured for flight.
T-minus 15, stand by for terminal count. 10, 9, 8.
Side booster ignition.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Off. Go Falcon Heavy.
Successful separation.
Okay. So that's pretty neat. And so this is Elon Musk, his own roadster he took out of his garage, and this is Spaceman. You can actually watch a live stream of Spaceman floating through space. But seriously, guys, this is Orion Township. And I didn't write this. Real people wrote this. Forget Tesla. General Motors is a self-driving leader. General Motors, forget Tesla. So I called John Blanchard and said, hey, John, let me try something. So I'll be right back. "30 seconds to Mars." Whew. It's amazing. So, wow, what a ride. I happen to just see this guy. Anybody know who this is? Drew Feustel, Orion's own. And anybody know where Drew is right now? Drew's at the space station. Like I said, I just gave him a little wave, and I said, hey, can we talk to you? So let's just see if this works. Make sure, might take the right code here. Okay. Oh, there he is. Hey, Drew, yeah, sorry I couldn't stay and talk. I got this group here, but so you're the flight engineer on this mission. Tell us a little bit about that.
As a flight engineer, my job is really to get to learn the space station and understand how things are going up there as I get accustomed to being in space for longer periods of time than I had before. And then eventually, after a month or two, when the current crew leaves, I'll take over as commander. And what that means for me is, at that point, I take on responsibility for the safety of the crew, the safety of the spacecraft, and the mission assurance for the whole flight.
That's remarkable. So, literally, you came from Lake Orion to the space station. What's that like?
How did I get here from there is what goes through my mind just about every day. But I can tell you an interesting story about where I grew up in Lake Orion. You may be familiar with a community called Keatington. And on the street that I grew up on in Keatington was called Saturn Drive. And in fact, the whole neighborhood in that area has streets named after great explorers and great exploration programs. So Armstrong Drive was there, Gemini was there, Mercury was there. it was an interesting place to grow up, and I didn't realize at the time in middle school and high school that all those street names were going to eventually maybe lead me to space exploration myself. But proud to call Lake Orion my home, and I always look forward to getting back to Michigan when I can.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Wow. It's going to be tough to top tonight, Brian. I went to Mars and talked to Drew while he's on the space station. Good luck. But Drew didn't mention it there, but if you didn't know, he is a proud Lake Orion graduate. And there are some amazing things happening in our schools. First of all, one of the great landmark yearly programs is called Real Talk. And this is a program that boosts the self-esteem of high school students. And you can see, if you look in this picture, you'll see some prominent local business owners and township officials that give their time to help this program be successful. The school's also launched Parent University. It's an innovative approach to educate our parents as it relates to things happening in our schools. I know Superintendent Jalapolis could not be here because she's ill. She sent her regards, but I believe she has some of her staff here. So if you're with the schools, if you could please stand and be recognized. Thank you very much. John and Rick, thank you. Another amazing program is Sellout for Soldiers. This is in January, and every student puts their cell phone away for the entire day and donates money. And a lot of local businesses also donate money, and they raise thousands of dollars for soldiers serving overseas by putting down their phone for a day. I always like to get into our elementary schools, and March is reading month, so I've been able to reach out and meet with a lot of the students. And fitting with our theme, I found out that Mrs. Bross' class at Carpenter Elementary are the All-Stars. So I walked in and read to them, but I also talked to them about what it means to be an All-Star. Take a look at this.
Listen to the beat, the mighty All-Star beat, it goes.
So we're talking about stars, and we're talking about Orion Stars today, and there's no better place than to get into our schools. We're at Carpenter Elementary, and I am with Mrs. Bross, All-Stars. Tell me what it means to be an All-Star.
To help each other out when they need it, and to always be respectful.
My name is Donovan Monahan, and I think being an All-Star means to help other people and keep trying no matter what and do whatever it takes, like the song from Imagine Dragons, whatever it takes.
What was your name?
Graham Honeycutt.
Hi, my name is Shane Kaiser, and I think to be an All-Star means to never give up.
Hi, my name is Addison, and I think an All-Star is to help each other when they need it.
Hi, my name is Emma, and I think being an All-Star is to be kind and honest to people.
My name's Madison, and I think what it means to be an All-Star is to be kind and positive and to help others.
That's amazing. I hear you guys have a mission statement. Do you want to share that with us?
Yeah. We, the All-Stars, promise to keep each other safe, believe in the Positivity Project movement, always show respect, and encourage the leader in others. Together we can do anything.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think that the grown-ups in Orion Township have a lot to learn from the young people. Thank you guys so much. Awesome job. Very cool. So, you know, a lot of times we highlight our state championship sports teams, and there are many. But I think what's even more remarkable than that is what's happening right now with our first robotics team. Come on out, guys. First robotics team, I'm going to be joined in a moment by Jeff Tiefan, who's the team captain. First, we're going to see what this thing does. Awesome. Jeff, come on over. So this is, what's amazing about this group, if you've been following them, is this started as a club, and it's way more than that now. So Jeff, you're the team captain, you're a senior. Tell us a little bit about what your group is, who's in it, who makes it up. Yeah, just talking.
Basically, this is our robot, and we consist of about 45 people or students and a bunch of really good mentors, which are just parents that come and help. And we need sponsors and everything, so we have all our sponsors out on the front. Delphi, well, Aptiv now, GM, FCA, and all that. Really good sponsors. Basically, we get a game at the beginning of the year, and we have 6 weeks to build and design a robot. And this is last year's robot, which we went and we competed. We won at a Howell district event, and we qualified for states after that. And at states, we qualified for worlds, and we came second in the world.
So this is the second place robot in the world for FIRST Robotics, right here, right in front of us. And the new one, which is under lock and key, I learned all this last night. It's only allowed to be out of the bag a certain amount of time each day when they can work on it. We'll be competing at Cobo Hall on April 25th, 6th, and 7th, hopefully all 3 days, right?
Yes.
Because Detroit is actually hosting the Worlds this year. So what else do you want to tell us? Anything else you want to share with us about your team and how we can support you as a community?
Basically, I mean, we just need more sponsors, that's all. That's all I can say.
That's awesome.
We always take money.
Well, I want to thank you, and I also want to share a personal story. I talked to Jacob Willison, who graduated in 2014 with my oldest daughter, who admittedly was an average or below average student. He said 3.0, maybe it was under 2, or maybe it was under 3. And he actually just got hired full-time by Pratt & Miller, making probably more money than most people in this room, 6 months ahead of his own graduation. He said he applied for this job with people that had 4.2s and other things, and they said that they gave him this job because of his experience with FIRST Robotics. So not only should we embrace this as a community and as a district, but if you have children out there that are looking for a hobby, what a great way to get involved in the community. So we're behind you. They have states before Worlds, but they don't want to get ahead of themselves, even though I heard last night they have enough points to qualify for states with the match they've already dealt with. But you're going to go this weekend and just make it certain, right?
Yeah, we're going to go win.
All right, go win. All right, well, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. Let's give them a round of applause. So let's move on to our housing. Bald Mountain Development was just named this year, in January, the 2017 Development of the Year for all of Southeast Michigan, right here in our community. It's a remarkable accomplishment, and if you haven't seen it, this is actually the award ceremony where I was able to attend and see them get this honor. But it's, they look at everything. They look at all communities, the type of development, the quality of build, and Pulte Homes was recognized right here. Check this out.
Hold on to me as we go, as we roll down this unfamiliar road. And although this wave is stringing us along, just know you're not alone, 'cause I'm gonna make this place your home. Settle down, it'll all be clear. Don't pay no mind to the demons, they fill you with fear.
So not only do they have quality homes, but they've actually, if you've gone down Silverbell lately, they have, that part of that development is they were completing all the safety path network to get from Silverbell all the way to Adams Road in Oakland Township. It's a key connection, and that picture was taken last week. We're also trying to make a lot of more key connections as it relates to our trail system. Listen to what our governor says about trails.
Oh, it's about the Iron Belt Trail I'd share with you. It's something I announced a few speeches ago. In 2012, we started it. It's going to be the largest statewide trail in the entire nation. To give you an idea where we're at is we have over 1,300 miles already finished. The goal will be 2,000 miles of trails for hiking and biking in Michigan. We're going to show the rest of the world that if you want to have great recreational opportunities, in addition to having the best lakes in the world, we're going to have the best trails that go with them.
I was actually there. State Rep Riley invited me, and I actually started that round of applause because the Iron Belt Trail goes right through Orion Township. And you have probably seen this boardwalk on Clarkson Road. We have received 4 successful grants. We've applied and received 4 grants and counting. This is a key connection between the Pollyanna and Paint Creek trails and right smack dab in the middle of the Iron Belt Trail. We're also working on safe routes to schools. We are applying and will be receiving $1.6 million in grant dollars to improve pedestrian connections at 8 of our elementary and middle school campuses. Amazing project. Again, thanks to OHM for helping us find those dollars. I think it's one of the largest safe routes to school applications in the history of that program right here in Orion Township. Roads, infrastructure is such an important conversation these days, and money is sparse, but Orion Township is getting their fair share. As mentioned, Brown Road was completed in the fall ahead of schedule and under budget. Baldwin Road, that project that we've been dreaming of, will start on Monday again. It was recently announced by the Road Commission that Clarkson Road will be resurfaced from M24 all the way to our border with Independence, as well as the township and our tri-party project will be completing a resurfacing of Pine Tree this year. Great projects and lots of excitement in Orion Township as it relates to roads. We have a great Facebook site where you can keep up to date and try to avoid those backups, and that's Orion Township Road Updates on Facebook. Infrastructure and regional priorities are very important to me. I have recently been elected as the vice chair of the SEMCOG, which is the Southeast Michigan Council of Governments. It's a group that represents the 7 counties that make up Southeast Michigan and nearly half of our state's population. Had the opportunity to visit Washington, D.C. and Congressman Bishop's office, as well as every Congress and Senate office that represents our region, to discuss the need for infrastructure improvements across our region. The other thing I was able to do through my involvement with SEMCOG is we helped update their water resource plan. The plan that we were working on was from 1999. Again, this has to do with quality of life and good drinking water and sewers that work. And I was able to co-chair that task force, and just take a look at this quick video on what we did. So not all those assets and water resources are in our township, but as some of you know, if you've ever talked to me, we have 42 lakes larger than 5 acres in our 36 square miles. It's one of the reasons we are known as We're Living as a Vacation. A couple of action items that came out of that Water Resource Task Force in the 2 years of work was we created a new program called Slow Row. Michelle's here. I saw Michelle. Where's Michelle? Michelle's here, who works for Cranbrook, who's also an Orion Township resident. And I thought if I was co-chairing this task force, we needed to put our money where our mouth is. So a few of us got together and said, let's just start this group, put no money toward it, and have these kayaking, canoeing meetups. That has turned into its own little thing, and that's really a big thing. So much so that if you were at the Lighted Parade this year, you saw the Slow Rowers have their own float. And if you're interested in their upcoming events, check them out on Facebook as well. Anybody recognize this? One of the biggest controversies of 2017 in Orion Township, the rocks, maybe the whole decade. This is another benefit of me being involved in the Water Resource Task Force and the amazing people we were able to work with. The rocks might have been beautiful and a great place for senior pictures, but they were destroying our creek, which happens to be one of only 3 or 2, depending on who you ask, cold water trout producing streams left in Southeast Michigan. So we partnered with some amazing people. FDM and Warren Aggregates Contracting, the DNR, Clinton River Watershed Council, Trout Unlimited, and a few other groups, and Aaron Watley, our Parks and Recreation Director, spearheaded this project. We were able to clear that stream and restore it to its existing condition at zero taxpayer dollars. Amazing. Remarkable. And I think Aaron might have taken this picture, but literally when they restored the creek, you could see the fish swimming back upstream. So to some of us, a huge answer to prayer there. If you're into other types of things and you want to be involved in our community, we have that for you as well. This year is our 3rd annual Green Up Orion. It's coming up very soon on April 14th. And there's more information on our website. I'm not going to get into the details right now, but it's another way to give back and protect our environment. And if you're not into that or you can't attend, we have a couple other options for you. My friend Bill Kalmar, who lives in Orion, who lives in Keatington, wrote an article to the paper, and he mentioned his new hobby. It's called plogging. Comes from the Swedish word plucky up, which is pick up, and jogging. I don't know if he made that up or if it's true. But if you can't join us on Green Up, you can certainly join us on either May 20th for our Dragon Dash right here at the Orion Center, or on May 28th for the Orion Veterans Memorial 5K, our 2nd annual. And I see Dr. Joe, I believe, is in the back of the room from the Veterans Memorial. And I also want to just take a moment to recognize some of our stars, our all-stars. And we said goodbye to 2 of them this year. First off, Lisa Sokol. Lisa Sokol didn't only serve on the Veterans Memorial Board, but she was a director of our community programs and has volunteered so many hours. Everyone knows Lisa in the community. Is Lisa here today? She's not. We will send her our wishes. So we want to thank Lisa. And then again, we also said goodbye and thank you to Bill Ireland, our DPW director, who also retired this year and is seeking enjoyment on the golf course with his wife and his grandkids. So thank you to Lisa and Bill for your years of service to our community. And as I mentioned before, I stand up here and get the credit, and I will be the first to say I don't deserve it. We have an amazing team. On the board are just some of our key team members as it relates to our consultants, the people that we pay to support us. But really, the credit goes to this group here, the Orion Township crew. For the 2nd year in a row, we started our year with an all-day team building exercise where we shared a meal, we did team building, we set goals and visions to try to work better together as a team. So if I could have all of the staff members that are here, if you could please stand and be recognized. Thank you. Thank you. So there's another group I want to recognize as we wind down here, and that is a group that we started recognizing back in 2015, our Citizens of the Month. And since mid-2015, once a month, we have a person come to our board meeting and be recognized for something outstanding they did. The cool thing about this is, with the exception of 1 or 2, they've all been surprised. We get them to our board meeting for a reason they don't know. So this is no exception. Last month, March, we welcomed Tim Godowski, and Tim is here today. And if I could just ask Tim to come up and join us, I think you'll see very quickly why we recognize Tim. Tim took on a project on his own, and he's going to tell us a little bit about his project and why we thought he was so special.
Hello, my name is Tim Godowski, and I met Ozzy in the Shones through baseball, and I loved playing with him, so I thought I want Xander to have that experience too of playing baseball, Xander and other kids like him. So what can I do? I thought, and I was like, I could sell drawings for like 25 or 50 cents, and most kids have 25 or 50 cents in their pocket. And so then I sold them to my family, and obviously they gave more than 25 or 50 cents. And I came up with a total of $202.89.
Show me the money. So this is awesome. And then he told me today when he got here that he has $1 more to add. So thank you, Tim, for what you've done to help us build this amazing project. I'm going to put some pictures up in a second. You are the reason that Orion is so awesome, not because of me, but because of you. So thank you, Tim. Let's give Tim a round of applause. Good job, buddy. So this idea of this baseball field, and I had never met Tim before our board meeting, and I was blown away, just much like you are. Tim is the youngest brother of 4, right? And I just heard that one of your big brothers is going to the Naval Academy, which is not a surprise to me. So Tim has some good examples. But again, another person, younger person we can all learn from. So this project, as you can see on the board behind me, is a dream, and it's actually coming true. We initially applied for a grant. We thought we were going to receive it, and through some weird circumstances, we found out that we just didn't qualify for this grant. So I was kind of down in the dumps about it and just said, man, we're so far from our original goal of $150,000. I don't think we can do it. And that's when my good friend Scott Taylor, who's a school board president and an all-around good guy, met me and said, get your head out of the gutter. We're going to do this. We're going to do it together. So one night in September, we parked his trailer at the field, and our parks guys literally built us a Field of Dreams field with a lawnmower, and we just started making calls and Facebook Live and social media, everything. And people came. And in 24 hours, with no sleep, we raised $100,000 for that baseball field. Amazing. Amazing. Scott, where's Scott at? Scott, come here for a minute. So Scott Taylor, once again, doesn't know this is happening, but not quite as cool as Tim Godowski, but almost as cool. We're recognizing Scott Taylor as our April Citizen of the Month in recognition of your outstanding fundraising efforts. In recognition of your outstanding fundraising efforts, raising more than $100,000 in 24 hours in support of Orion on Deck Inclusive Baseball Field, we present this certificate to Scott Taylor, the Citizen of the Month Award, the second day of April 2018. So you have to come to our board meeting Monday and get this.
I'll be in Florida.
All right. Congratulations. Yeah. So this is a dream. Check this out. We're breaking ground on this very soon. We're just getting the final drawings in. It's going to look something like this. This is an artist rendering. And again, thank you. If you donated to this, let's just give a round of applause to all who donated to this amazing cause. I see some of you here. And my good friend Ken Mathias from the Complete Companies, I called him and said, Ken, we need coffee and Panera bagels and a check. And he showed up, and Scott and I had no sleep, and he brought all 3 of those. And so thank you to everyone that partnered with us. You will be recognized. Recreation and culture is, again, that third most important reason that people moved here. Schools, safety, rec and culture, and we lead the way. In 2017, in that same community survey, 37% of our residents that responded said they use our parks weekly. That's a remarkable number, 37% to think about. 84% said they were satisfied with the quality of recreation offered. We had hundreds of comments of ideas on what we should offer. That said, we are in a situation where we have recently acquired Camp Agawam, and this year will be our 100-year anniversary celebration. Stay tuned. It's October 6th. It's going to be amazing. We purchased that camp from the Boy Scouts just a few years ago, and then this is pretty remarkable. First of all, I'll show you some of the pictures of Agawam. This is the Peterson Lodge as it sits today, and there's a reason I'm showing you these things. This is existing conditions. We knew when we purchased this that it was going to be a labor of love, but it was a great deal and a great partnership with the Boy Scouts and a great way for us to save 140 acres of green space in our community. So we have a vision for Camp Agawam. We have a vision for a lot of our parks based on your feedback. And this is a picture of what we picture and envision Peterson Lodge could one day be. A beautiful venue for events, for fundraisers, for Scott's euchre parties that he continues to badger me about that he wants to host out there. So this is a vision for Camp Agawam. We also recently, maybe many of you don't know about this, but this is a pretty remarkable thing. We acquired the 76 acres directly north of Township Hall and directly across the street from where we're sitting right now. And we did this in a cool land swap deal that cost the township $98,000 all in for 76 acres of prime property. Remarkable success. I want to thank our attorney, Dan Kelly. Where's Dan? I hope he's here. There he is. Dan was instrumental. I mean, we have been working on this for 5 years, this deal, and we finally got the deal done. So thank you, Dan, and thank you everybody that helped make that possible. $98,000 for 76 acres. We also spend a lot less than our neighbors on recreation. Again, this is data pulled right out of the audited financial statements that you can pull. Either you can look at it at Lansing or you can just go to Munetrix's site and see it all there gathered for you. But what these charts show is we spend very little per capita on recreation, yet it's a huge part of our budget. 28% of that budget goes to parks and recreation. Why am I telling you all of this? We're at a crossroads, and we are at a decision point where we need to decide how are we going to continue to fund these great amenities that we already provide and provide additional amenities as well. So we're going to be looking to our residents for a potential parks millage this August. This is a pretty telling chart. I'll let you read it for yourself, but we are on the left with the least number of staffing and the third most acreage of our neighbors. So that the numbers speak for themselves. We'll get into that more later, but this is a great opportunity for me to at least let you know that this is something we'll be working on this year. The Lake Orion chat room. Anybody on that page? It used to be my go-to until I saw some posts like this. So is Hollywood closing, or is that a rumor? Rest in peace, Hollywood. Hollywood's closing. No, they're not. It's fake rumor, fake news. Painted rocks are gone. I mean, literally, you could spend hundreds of hours on this page, and I hate to admit I sometimes do. I'm tagged in this often, and I try to respond to all of them. I would prefer an email or a phone call, but I try to respond to all of them. Tim Hortons, oh my gosh, Tim Hortons was like the second biggest news of the year. And so then the rumors started crossing each other. So the Tim Hortons, the rocks, we could turn the rocks into Tim Hortons and have a river go to Tim Hortons. Largest bonfire right here in Lake Orion. Let's go to Tim Hortons. Then now it's our favorite time of year, potholes. Look at this picture. Are they going to fix it? Look, Jack, this is yesterday, 2 days ago. It's all fun and games until you hit a pothole. We're dealing with the same issues everyone is. She definitely could have pulled Jack out of that. There's plenty of room for Jack. I think that picture was taken on Central Drive. But I will tell you, I will put one rumor to rest. We are getting a Planet Fitness. That's true. That's an actual drawing of what that former Hollywood location, and for that matter, that entire strip center is going to look like. The Boutros companies are investing tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars to reinvent their building, and they will be bringing a Planet Fitness. My brother tells me they serve pizza on Fridays at their gym, but I will probably stick with my same local gym. This is also not a rumor. The Stars are coming to Orion. We are hosting an international tournament at our own Palazzo de Bocce this July. I wanted to just put this on your radar because we have people coming from all over the world to our community. A few more things we've heard from you before we wrap in our community survey. You want a single quarterly publication, and we are working with all the stakeholders so that we don't all mail you every quarter all different types of magazines. We come up with a really high quality one. This is where we need the dun 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 dun. Trash hauling. Trash hauling is back up for discussion. You will hear more and more about this, but is it a good idea for us to consolidate your garbage services? So just want to let you know some of the things we're working on. And then I had the amazing opportunity, I mentioned it last year, I was selected as one of 2 people from our region to attend Harvard last summer, and I was able to do that. And it was a life-changing experience. I met amazing people from all around the world, leaders, way smarter than me, still that are my friends, and was able to bring a lot of that knowledge back to our community. Matter of fact, I actually hosted a group here in October of colleagues that I met in that class, and this is a picture right in front of our sign. This is my buddy Frank Baker, who's a Boston City Councilman, slept in my basement, so it's a really cool thing, and they literally know me as the guy that's from where living is a vacation. They want to come here. This is what we're known for. So I can't do what I do without the amazing support of my family. And as I wrap, I definitely need to recognize them. My daughter Rachel is finishing her last month of college, and my daughter Addison is taking an exam today, but my daughter Sydney is here today, and my girlfriend Rachel. And we are teaming up to go to serve the residents of Haiti in July, the first week of July, so unfortunately I'll miss the fireworks here. But this is our team meeting where we're plotting and planning, and we did this bottle drive last weekend, and many of you supported us, which we appreciate, and we single-handedly broke every bottle return machine in all of Orion Township. So we're sorry if you tried to return bottles on Sunday. But I think I'm so grateful and thankful not only for my grandma and my mom and my stepdad and my brother and everyone here that's here, but specifically my immediate family who keeps up with me at this crazy job. And last but not least, can't close this out without thanking the person that keeps me sane and that I have made probably insane over the past week, and that is my good friend and my amazing administrative assistant, Jenny Botti. She... It was referenced earlier that I'm extremely ADD. If you spend any time with me, you'll know I'm all over the place all the time. And she's been just an amazing person in helping keep me sane, keep me on track. And Amir, you can have her back now because I'm going to let her, breathe after all of this. It takes so much work to put something like this together. And I thank you for your time and for your interest in our community. We couldn't do it without everyone sitting in this room. And my job is to tell our story, to bring people here, to make this a great place to work, a great place to live. And I'm grateful to call all of you friends. But we can't close this out without one last look at my favorite thing in this whole thing. I hope you guys agree. Oh, what happened to it? Oh. It's the worst place to have a technical difficulty. Yes. Yes. Thank you again. Thank you so much. We are in good hands, not because of me, but because of all the people that are serving you behind the scenes. I want to give a special, special thank you to the Woodside team, the crew here. Caleb has been remarkable. He was here till who knows how late last night assisting me. Thank you so much. Please join us out in the lobby for some refreshments. Thank the sponsors that have partnered with us on this event, and I'm going to send you on your way. Thank you so much, everyone.